Hello, good evening to you all, and today is our week one of this virtual internship that we are going to hold. This internship is going to last for about 6 months, and this is our week one. So, what we are going to do every day, we are going to have our outlines. That is what we are going to cover for the entire week. Like I told you, we're going to have all the contents of what you're going to work with within the week because we're not going to meet again till in the next week. So these are our outlines for this week, and this is what you are going to focus on. And your assignment is going to focus on this. The first thing we are going to discuss about, because I'm going to take you through some things and we are going to do some practicals before we release the data you're going to use. So, we'll have an introduction, even though yesterday we did the introduction, so we are skipping this introduction. Don't worry, I just put it. And we'll have some definition of some terms because as you're learning this profession, you need to understand some terms, what they mean, so that for you not to be, you know, putting the two words together or understanding them one way or the other. And we are going to talk about four questions that a data analytics person or four questions that data analytics answered. Why are we doing this course? So we are going to talk about these four questions that at the end of everything, these are the questions you are answering using uh, data. So please, we are going to talk about that. I want you to focus more on this. And today we are going to talk about why choosing data analytics journey, data analytics tools, what to expect at the end of the internship. I even talk about that, but yeah, today also I will to say something. We'll have introduction to Excel, table customization, formula and function, simple arithmetic average, percentage, question and answer, and we'll have conclusion. So these are the 13 things we are going to cover today, and that's what you're going to cover in also your assignment. So please understand this. Like I said, it's going to be a uh, a crash session. It's not going to be like full session where we're going to take everything to take the nitty gritty of everything. No, we're just going to have an overview of everything. So please let's go and see. Okay, so already you know why we are here, but let's talk about some definition of some terms. These terms, I just want to talk about these terms with you so that right from today, whenever you hear about them, you know what they mean and you know what each and every term entails related to what you're going to learn. So number one thing is data science. Please, whenever you hear data science, consider data science as is the entire science field that dealt with data. So it's a field on its own that dealt with data. Anything that has to do with data, whenever you hear data science, it has to do with anything that has to do with data has to do is it falls under data science. Please understand this. So that why data science includes a lot of things under it, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, the one you are learning now, all of this falls under this data science. So whenever you hear data science, don't get confused. This is what it means. Okay. So another term that I want you to have understanding is the data analytics itself. This data analytics that we are going to learn throughout this internship has to do with answering questions generated for better or to create and or to make an informed decision. So once we are dealing with data analytics, we are dealing with you answering some particular questions using data. It can be business, it can be anything, but in as much as you are trying to answer something using data, that what data analytics is all about. And we're going to talk about these four questions that you are answering as a data analyst person. So whenever you hear data analytics, that's how it works. Let me explain this in short: data science and data analytics for you. Consider data science as a faculty. We all have faculties, we know. In each faculty, we have departments. So consider data analytics as a department under data science. So data science is the entire faculty, while analytics is what is a department under that. So that's the simplest, I think, explanation I can give you. So when we say data analysis is a process. Whenever you hear the word data analysis, is a process under data analytics. So it's a process on its own. So this data analytics process, there are processes under data analytics. Data analysis falls under it. Data visualization falls under it. Data cleaning falls under it. Data analysis and all these, they are processes on its own. So please understand, whenever you hear data analysis, knows that is a what is a process under data analytics. Okay. So when you hear data scientist is anybody who is professional in any of the data departments that are under data science. If you are good in data analytics, you can call yourself a data scientist. If you are good in artificial intelligence, you can call yourself a data scientist. If you are good in machine learning, you can call yourself a data scientist. So this is it. And the last thing is data analyst. So data analyst is someone who specializes in data analysis. That's what data analyst is all about. So if you specialize in, you can specialize in data analysis, but maybe you are not good in other processes of data analytics. So you can also call yourself a data analyst because you specialized in data analysis. So that what data analyst is all about. So please understand these terms, five of them: data science, data analytics, data analysis, data scientist, and data analyst. So whenever you hear these terms, I believe from today, you know uh, what these are all about. So let's move. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the four questions that this data analytics answered. I told you is a profession that answered a particular questions. So these are the four questions that data analytics answered. Number one question, data analytics answered what happened. What happened? So if you want to know what happened in a particular community, what happened to a particular company, what happened to a particular person, then data analytics is what answered that question for you using data. So it answered that you have the data. By mere looking at the data, you can tell what happened based on the data. And this is what we called under data analytics, we call this descriptive analysis, because that's what answered what happened. So please understand this. The second question it answered is why did it happen? So apart from understanding what happened, then why did something happen is another question that data analytics answered for you using data. By mere looking at the data, you'll know the trend. You'll know what lead to something. Understanding what lead to a particular something using data is another question that data analytics answered for you. That is, why did it happen? For example, now, why the inflation in Nigeria? Believe me, data, data has been telling us this for the past many years, but we ignored the data because data is always speaking to us. If we like, we use the information. If we don't like, we allow it to go. But data never lies. And whatever data is telling us, whether we like it or not, it is bound to happen. So why did something happen? It already happened. You can check what it did. It happens. Of course, you can do that. Go back to the data. When you look at the data, you will see the trend. You will see the correlation of why did something happen. Whenever something happen, if you look at the data, you will see the reason behind why it happened. And this is the analysis that we call this analysis diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analysis. It's what we did for us to answer the question, why did something happen? That's the diagnostic analysis. So the next question is, what will happen? So what will happen? Using data, you can tell what will happen in the future using data. That's why Oyinbo people are always using data to predict things. People were saying they are using juju or whatever. They are not. They are using data. If you have data of 10 years, you can predict what will happen in the next 2 years, three, four, and five. So the data is always telling because there is always a trend between what is happening, what is going to happen based on the data. So data, when you are good in this profession, that is data analytics, is one of the questions you can be able to answer using a data. What will happen? That is what is going to happen. So in Nigeria, believe me, if we have been relying on our data, this current situation, we will have foresee it and we will have what? Put measures towards it. So that's something that data analytics will tell you. And this is the analysis that we call predictive analysis. Predictive analysis. That is what will happen. So that's predictive analysis. So the last question that this profession answered for you is what can be done to change the future? So what can be done to change the future is something that data analytics profession will help you to answer during using data. So when you have a data, you discovered a lot of things. You diagnose the data. You understand the data. As a data analyst, you can also recommend what will happen so that that will prevent something from happening. For example, I analyzed a data. I discovered that in Nigeria, I discovered that a lot of graduates are jobless based on the data. As a data analyst, if you look at the previous data, when did it started to happen? Why did it happen? You can also recommend these are the measures that need to be taken in order for us to prevent having so much number of jobless undergraduates in the future. So as a data analyst, you can have that foresight, you can have that in your in your mind. So this is something that you can be able to do using data. So please understand this, and these are the four questions that data analytics will help you to answer. So at the end of all this that you are going to learn throughout this 6 months, please, these four questions should be at the back of your mind. This is something that whenever you are sleeping, anytime you see data, anytime you see anything, please, these are the things you need to put in your mind. And these are the questions that will come to your mind. And this is what we want you to be. Because your faculty of reasoning must change, must differ from someone who doesn't have this skill. Please understand this. So let's move and let's continue. So the next thing is just let me just talk about this why choosing data analytics career is just something that this is one of the most demanded job in the world. You see the reason why this is the most demanded job in the world. This is the reason, and this is why Oyinbo people are, are smarter than almost us here. They are smarter than us. Why? Because they put this into consideration and they are using it to make their decision. All their decisions are data-driven decisions. So, but our decisions, we all know, are politically motivated decisions, sentiment, nepotism, and whatever. Our decisions are not based on data. Our decisions are just based on what we want. So that why we are going to see what we don't want because we did what we want. So that why is the most demanded job in the world. And of course, you can work anywhere when you have this skill. That why I told you, you don't need, even if you study whatever you want to study, go and study whatever you want to study. You can work anywhere because every profession in the world, every industry in the world, everywhere, they need someone with this skill. So irrespective of what you studied, irrespective of who you are, irrespective of who you want to become, it's not like you want to change your career. No, you stay where you are. You can be a medical doctor and you are a data analyst. You can be a lawyer and also still a data analyst. You can be this and that. I'm a lawyer by profession, but of course, this is also I'm data analyst. Person I can do this. So you can stay wherever you are, but still you can learn data analyst. So you can work anywhere. And also, it's very easy to start. Very easy. That way, it doesn't require any prerequisite. As we are starting today, you started today. So it doesn't need anything. It's very easy to start. And again, it's a high paid job. Of course, we are all, more people will learn this. It's a very high paid job. Even in Nigeria, if you have the skills and you are going to get job in this, it's a very high paid job. I'll tell you at the end of this bootcamp, you'll hear there are lots of positions that is data analyst position, but people will call them, or the hiring people or the organization will call them in other names. So as a data analyst, if you understand them, you will know that it's you they are referring to. Just apply and you will get the job. But don't worry, we'll all talk about that at the end of all this. So these are the journey. Just start with this. We'll talk about all this. The journey started from data collection and entry. That's where it started. So we'll talk about all this data collection and entry. You learn all that data collection, how to develop questionnaire, how to use data collection tools, this and that. Data cleaning and formatting is another process. It's part of the journey, which we are also going to learn. Data analysis and visualization. Then the last stage of this is data reporting and sharing. That when you report, you share what you report, you share your suggestion, observations, and everything to stakeholders and to people that matter. So these are the journeys, just full slides here. I don't want us to wait to take much time in this, but this is it, and don't worry. Uh, let's move. So these are the tools that we have in data. There are lots of tools used for this data analytics. There are lots of tools. There is Excel, Power BI is part of it also. And also there is Tableau. Tableau also is part of the tools for this. And also SQL is part of it. Python also is part of R, we all know R programming. It's also R Studio is part of the tools for this. And also Open Data Kit is part of the tools. IBM SPS, as you know, that statistical package is also part of all the tools. So these are the tools. There are lots of tools. Stata is part of it. MedCalc is part of it. There are lots of tools. You can name it. But in as much as it matters, you need to learn any tool that can do this for you. You are good. Just learn it, master it. You don't need to learn everything unless maybe you want to, expand your knowledge. You can't have everything. But if you like, go ahead. But we are going to learn those that matters to our context. That's what we are going to learn. We're going to learn those that matters to our context. So that way, what we are going to learn, part out of the tools, we're going to learn ComCare. Definitely, you will learn ComCare is part of it. Excel is part of it. Power BI is part of what you will learn. SQL is part of it. Open Data Kit, that is Kobo tool or Kobo Collect, is part of it. Then we're going to talk about this PowerPoint also. Someone will ask me why PowerPoint. Don't worry, when we are talking about data sharing and reporting, you will hear where you need to create a presentation of your, report and whatever. We're going to talk about that at the end of it. But these are the tools you are going to learn at the end of it. So this is what you should expect. So let's move now. Today we are going to start with the Excel. We're going to have introduction to it. We're going to talk about a lot of things in it. Like I said in the from the outlines that we're going to discuss covered, we will have introduction of it. We'll talk about the customization. We'll talk about formula and function. We'll also talk about simple arithmetics, average, and also percentage. That's what we are going to cover today. So please concentrate on everything we are going to learn because it has to do with your assignment. Whatever we are going to do has to do with your assignment. Please focus on what we are going to do now, please. Okay. Yeah. I'm recording everything. Don't worry. I'm sharing the class with you after everything. I'm recording everything. Don't worry. So those of you, I can see some are requesting to record. Don't worry. I'm recording the class. I'm sharing back my screen. Don't worry. I'm the one that stopped the sharing. I'm sharing it back. Sorry, I'm sharing my screen back. If you can see it, just let me know. If you can see my screen, let me know, please. Okay, so this is what we have, and this is introduction to this. You see, Excel is just a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet is something that, this is the one of this is the secret of data analysis. Everywhere you go, this is the secret because this is universally accepted. It's one of the most, this is the most commonly used software around the world because it has more than billions of users. Anywhere you might find yourself, any organization, any office, anywhere, you will not escape working with spreadsheet. That is working with Excel. You will not escape that. So please concentrate on this and learn it. So Excel is a very wide something, it's very big. Let me just give you a small introduction on about it. You see, When you open it, you'll see book one. The entire file of Excel is called workbook. That's the entire file. That's why they wrote book one on it. This file that you are seeing, entire file of Excel, has rows, has sheets, and every sheet has rows and columns. So in each rows, in each sheet that you can see, we have this sheet as you can see it here, this particular sheet one here. You can see I have sheet here. I just where I just put my cursor. I'm sorry, sometimes there are people that are coming in, so I'm accepting them. So you see we have sheet one here. So this sheet that you can see alone has about 1 million rows in it. So let me show you the number of rows. It's at 1,048,576 rows. These are the rows that this single sheet has in it. So imagine the data that this can take. And for the columns, it has more than 12,000 columns in it. So this column that you can see, let me just hold control forward. You see, this column that I just come at the end of this column, it's more than 12,000 columns. So it has 1,048,000 plus rows and 12,000 columns. Imagine how much data this particular sheet can take. How much data, how much number of data. And this sheet that you can see, you can create a lot of sheets. You can create a lot of sheets. Not only this sheet, you can go ahead and create a lot of sheets. You can have about up to 250 something sheets in one single workbook. And I told you each sheet can have what? 1 million rows, 1,048,000 rows, and over 12,000 columns. And you can have like 255 of them. So that's why Excel is very, very, how can I call it? It's very powerful and strong too, which you need to understand. That's why you see you cannot escape it. That's why the entire Nigerian data can fit in one single workbook. That way you can go ahead and start working with only one single flash and the entire Nigerian data is in that particular single file. So you don't need that big something to contain the data of Nigeria. So you see how powerful this Excel is. So this is what workbook is all about, and this is worksheet is all about. So in this sheet, as you can see, I told you we have columns, we have rows, and what scared people most of the time, what scared people is these lines that you are seeing. All these lines that you are seeing are called grid lines. Please don't worry. This grid lines is not something that's don't get scared by them. Let me just zoom it a little bit so that you can see it more. So don't get scared by all these grid lines. Don't get scared because if you want to remove, just go to view. Under this view, just click on this on tick grid line. You see, this is how Excel is. Excel is plain shit like Microsoft Word. That's how Excel is. So don't get scared with all those grid lines and whatever. They are of no use. They are just there to guide you. And if you want to put it back, just put it back. You will bring it back and there. So this is it. And in Excel, like I told you, we have columns and we have rows and we have cells. So these cells, as you can see, anywhere I click is just a rectangular box. You see, I just click here, I click here, I click here. That's a what? A box. And that box is what is called a cell. And each cell has its name in Excel. That what is called a cell designation or a cell reference. So please understand this. So each cell, when you click on it, if you want to know the name of the cell, just look at the column and row because the intersection of column and row is what will give you the cell designation. So if I click here, look at it, it's E under which row is row 7. Just you call it E7. Definitely that's E7. Everything that is there, when you reference that E7, you will see what is in E7 in that. Please understand this. So that's what I think I would just show you for you to all navigate this. You see, you can increase the width. So when your cursor come here, you can increase the width, and if you want, you can increase the height like this, and you can increase the width, and you can automate that if you like. Just come to format. Under this format, as you can see, I can highlight whatever I want to do. For example, I can highlight this. If I highlight this, just come here at the middle of this column. You see at the middle here, I highlight it. I can just come here under row. Maybe I want to increase the row height. I could just click row height. I'll just put any number that I want. Now it's 15 by default. If I want, I can put it 25. All the rows will be increased to 25 if I want to do that. Then if I want to increase the height, I can just click on this column width I want to increase the width, column width, I can put any number that I want. Maybe I want it to be 20, then I will increase it to 20 and it will be white like this. Please understand all this. Like I told you, we are not here to learn it from the beginning, but I'm just taking you through so that you will understand it. So for the Kuso, let me show you something. Kuso in Excel has about 5 to 6 features or more than that. I'll just take you through some features of Kuso in Excel so that you will understand how to work with Kuso in Excel, because it's not like how we use Kuso in other tools. So first of all, you need to understand in Kuso there is highlighting in Kuso. Whenever your Kuso is this white, as you can see, my Kuso is white. Is like a plus and is white. So now I'm not clicking anywhere. I'm holding my. I'll just come. Let's say I want to highlight from this C up till this E and up till this row 6. So I'll just come over this C, as you can see. You see here where my cursor is at the middle is just white. Just hold your right click, not left, a right click. Hold your right click and just you scroll, just like that with your cursor. You see, you just continue like this. So you see, I'm highlighting. So this is what is called highlighting. You are highlighting something in Excel. If you want to highlight, you don't need to click. But if you like, go ahead and click. But if you want to highlight, this is how it is. It turns to this. Once it turns to this, just highlight. And that's how you highlight in what? In Excel. So for another thing you need to understand in Kuso is how to drag. Whenever you see you want to drag something, that's you want to duplicate or you want to drag something to other cell to apply what is in one cell to the other. That is, we want to duplicate what is in this cell to the next row. For example, now I have two here. I want to apply these two across this cell. So what I need, I will just click back to this two. So you come here at the end of this. That's where your cursor will change. So that's what we call dragging. If your cursor turn to this, just hold your right click and drag. So when you drag, just go wherever you want to stop and just stop there. That's how it works. You stop it there. Please understand how dragging is in Excel. So don't confuse dragging with highlighting. Please don't confuse the two. So that's how you drag. So whenever I ask you to drag or whenever you are working, you want to drag something in Excel, write it, go just when you write something, go out of it, then you come back. Because if you are in it, you cannot drag. So just when you just do it and then come back and then you do the dragging. So that's dragging. And we also have moving. So for the moving, yeah, someone is here. I'm slowing down. Don't worry, I'm recording the class. I'll give it to you. We have time. I want us to, beat the time because we have a lot to cover. So I want us to just go as fast as we can so that you will understand. And don't worry, I'm recording. You can put the video in slow motion and watch it the way you want. Okay. So now the next thing is the moving. That's the third thing I want to show you in Excel. So you see when your cursor turned into three arrows up, forward and backward, you see like this. So what you need to do is hold your left click, and if you want to drag the cell anywhere you want to drag it, for example, I can have two like this three two that I put. I can highlight them, or you see I highlight them. If I want to move them, I can just come here at the middle. You can see at the middle here. I can just come at the middle here. Then I will drag. You see I can drag it anywhere I want. I can scroll. You hold your right click, not left click, right click. So you see I'm dragging. I can bring them here. You see I move them from there to here. So all this what you can do with Kuso in Excel. So don't that's about this. So I think that what I want to show you in that I just show you how to do. Okay, let me show you how to insert columns and how to insert a rows. So for example, now I put A. Let me put A here. Okay, let me say one. Okay, let me say 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, let me just put this 1, 2, 3, 4. For example. So if I do this, for example, maybe I want to add another column between these two and these trees, then I have to come to this three. So anytime you want to add a column, take note that the column will be added at the left hand side. Please understand this. It will be added at the left hand side. For example, like I say, I want to add between this and this. So I will come at the middle of this C and I right click. Then I will just click on this insert. Automatically, it will add one column in between 2 and 3 for us. So for the row, for example, let me put B, C, D. So if I want to add, for example, a row between A and B, then I have to come to B because always it added a new row for you from the top. So at the top of the one that you click. So now if I just click, just come here at the middle of these three, right click, then you click on insert, then it will add another column for us here. If I want to delete it, I'll right click also, and I will just delete it. If I want to highlight them, I will come at the middle here, then hold my right click, then I'll just highlight like this, then I'll just right click, then I'll delete. So these are all the things that you can all do this the way you want. So another thing I want to show you is how to create a serial number in Excel. But before then, let me show you how to create a table and how to customize the table by yourself. So first of all, I'm going to just write SN, for example, SN. I'm going to say full name. Don't worry, I'm just writing this full name, state. Then I can say LGA like that. Let's just stop here. I'll just write this. So when I create this, as you can see, please watch what we are doing. And we are going to create a table because now as it is, if I want to print this, if I print preview this, we are not going to see all these grid lines that you are seeing because I told you grid lines is nothing. That way when I print preview it, look at it here, it's nothing. It's just a blank. It's just this serial number, full name, and state that we have. So don't worry. I'm going to show you how to put the border in it. So what you're going to do now, I'll tell you to highlight. For example, let's say we want to create a rows like 10 rows, for example. So let me just highlight from here up till D. Then I'll come to this 11. Why did I stop at 11? Because row one is taken. Don't worry, this numbers that you are seeing in Excel is just rows number. It has nothing to do with serial number. It's just a rows number, Excel rows number. So I highlight it here. So what I'm going to do is to come over here. Please look at where I am. So let me see. Look at where I am. Just click this drop down. Then come here, you will see all borders. Click on this all borders. I'm not teaching you how to put that table that they have Control T to put table. Please, I'm teaching you how to put table like this. I have a reason why I'm teaching you this. Don't worry. I know maybe you have your ways of putting table. That one, hold it there. I'm teaching you how to do it this way. So the next thing we are going to do after putting this border, now if I print preview it, you are going to see this border. Look at it now. You see, we have a border now because I just put the border here. So this is it. So now I want to increase the width of this full name. Then I will come here. You see at the edge of this column B, then I will come here and hold my right click and just I drag. I just hold it and I drag it forward. If I want to increase state, I'll do it. You see, I left D here. So I can come here. I can highlight them back again, or I can highlight D alone. When I highlight D alone, I can just come back here on click here and just click all borders. So this is it. I did this already. So now let's create the serial number. So to create the serial number, we're not going to put one, two, three, like, no, we're not going to do that. There are many ways to create a serial number, but believe me, I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you two ways on how to do it. So first of all, just click one. When you click one, click enter. So like I teach you how to do dragging. So just come here and drag. Automatically, when you drag, it will show you this. You see, it will apply one, but it will show you a drop down like this. Just click on it. When you click on it, you will see fill series. Click on fill series, automatically it will create a serial number for you. This is one method, the first method to do that. Please let me show you this again. Click one and go out of it. Then come back to this one. Then take your cursor at the edge of this. Then hold your right click and just drag down. When you drag down, you see this. Click here and click fill series, and you are good to continue. So what you are going to do, the second method of creating a serial number, just put one and put two. Then you highlight it here. When you highlight, when I say highlight, just come here and highlight. I teach you how to do highlighting. Then you drag down. Automatically, it will create a serial number for you. You don't need to click on this and put that pill series. You don't need that. It will automatically do it for you. So this is how you create a serial number. So the next thing is for you to customize your text. Let's see the text customization. Let's just look at the text customization. For example, now we want to highlight this. For example, we want to highlight, we want to bold it. Just click on bold. I believe you all know how to do that. Click on bold. You can increase the size. You can put it at the center. This is for center. But there is two types of center alignment in Excel. There is bottom alignment, center, middle alignment, top alignment. They have that. Unlike Microsoft Word and others that only have left, right, and middle. So in Excel, there are different type of them. So you can see now we have bottom alignment. I can put it center alignment. You see, I put it at the center. Let me increase this width and show you what just happened. First of all, this is how it is by default. But if I click on this middle align, you see it becomes at the center of the column. I can put this top one, it will go at the top of it. So we have left, we have middle, we have right, and we have middle aligned, and we also have top, and we also have right. So let me put it at the middle and let me centralize it. And this is how it looks like in Excel. So this is part of what you can customize in it. So another thing that we are going to talk about is you know how to centralize. So now we can just click here and we can centralize it and do whatever we want is for us to do that. The next thing I'm going to teach you is just for you to learn uh, uh, how to match two cells. For example, I want to match this state and this. Let me just maybe I want to match them. I can go ahead and when I highlight them, for example, like this, I can go ahead and click on this match and center. You see this match and center? If I click on it, it will ask me, do you want to override it? Then I can say yes. Then it will put this cell to be two for me. So under it, I can do a lot of things here. But please, we don't have much time. We are just going to run out of the time. We have a few 2 minutes to go. So I think I'll leave this. We'll come back to this match and center because it has to do with the assignment you are going to do. So we'll come back to this match and center. I'll explain more to this when we come back because we are going to have say recess to rest. We are coming back. We'll resume after the time expire. We have just 1 minute to go. So we'll have some recess and we'll come back and continue. I think let me see if there is something I need to tell you before we go because this match and center is something that maybe I will save it when we come back. Yeah, I will stop. I don't want to start it because when we start it, it will cut off. What next? What next? What next? What next? What next? What next? I think. Yeah, I think that match and center is what we are going to continue when we come back so that you see how you can do it. Then we continue from uh there. Okay, okay. Okay, someone say I should redo the second. So yeah, I told you I'm recording it, but it's something that you can do. Just put one and two by yourself. When you put one and two by yourself, just drag it. Even if you want to do it 1 million, just go ahead, just drag it down. It will just create the serial number for you. But you need to highlight the one and two that you just created. Okay, so please let's take some recess. Few minutes. I'll share the link when we are done. When I'm ready, I'll share the link with you. Then we can all rejoin and continue because we are yet to start the real work. But it's good. It's just an introductory part, and you learn something at least, no matter how little. Please see you in few minutes. Okay, you are all welcome back. Like I said, we are going to continue with match and center. I'm just going to give you a scenario whereby a data is given to you, or you are to create a template. You are to design a template to collect a particular data in Excel. I'm going to give you a scenario. Please, you can write it down if you like. You can think about it because I'm going to do it here with you. For example, now let's say you're going to capture the data that has to do with a particular state. You are going to capture a data that has to do with a particular state. Or let's say you have to capture the data that has to do with um a particular department. We talk about departments, of course. We talk about departments. We want to capture data from a particular faculty, and each faculty has department. You can write it down like this. So let me just write it down because I want us to create something that has to do with it with this match and center together. I want you to understand it. So we have faculty. Let me just call it faculty. And we also have departments under the faculty. That is the name of the departments. So we want to capture this data people, based on the people from the department. So we can have Faculty of Science, for example. Maybe under Faculty of Science, we can have department, maybe different department, maybe zoology, biology, and whatever under it. So maybe we can have another department, maybe Department of Social Science, Department of this, and we can have all their faculties under them. We are going to capture the data based on the faculty, based on the department within the faculty. So if you understand this, when we are going to create our table, we're going to create the header is going to take the names of the faculty, while we're going to have something under it that's going to take the name of our what, the name of our department, then followed by the maybe the columns where we will fill all the data and whatever we want to. Don't get confused, please, because we are going to practicalize this. So let me go back to this. I'm deleting all this, so don't worry. I don't need this. I'm deleting it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is First of all, I will create the serial number. Normally, first every time we create a serial number because that's our unique identity, or you can call it your primary key. Normally, that's what we use every day. So we put serial number. So the next thing I'm going to put, maybe I'll put the name of the faculty. Maybe I'll say Faculty of Science. Don't understand this. I'm still in this particular B. So before I put the faculty of maybe political science and its department, I will finish all the department, I'll put all the department of faculty of science before I continue. So I'm coming down. I will come down of this under this. Please understand what I'm doing. So I'll come down under faculty of science. So now I'll write biology, maybe biology department. Maybe I'll write zoology department. Maybe I'll write botany department. These are the three departments that I've write. So I'm not going to touch anything because I want to do everything together with you. So you see, biology is B, C, D. So I'm botany. So I'll come to E. This is where I'll put faculty of, let's say, social science. So under it, I'm going to write the department. So I will say political science. We have sociology. And we have, I think economics also falls under all this. So we have these three. So we have three. So let me show you, we are going to customize it because it's all part of our customization. So let's customize this table. So as you see how I created all this. So don't get confused. So first of all, for this serial number, since we have a column like this, but let me put the border. So where do we stop? We stop at G. So let me put the border. I'll highlight it up till this, and I'll highlight it up till 11 because we're going to create 10 columns like we did before. So I'll click here and I'll click all the border. So look at it now. We created the border and this is how it looks like. You see this serial number, there is a column here which is empty and it takes this department. And let's say we don't need that. We want serial number to take its field. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight this serial number and the next row under it, beneath it. Then I'll go to that match and center that I told you. Just click on the match and center. So now our serial number is here. So I'm going to put it at the middle align so that it will looks like this. So this is how it looks like. So secondly, we have biology, zoology, botany. This one we want them. We're not going to delete any. But this faculty is here. If you come to this C, in front of it is empty. This one is empty. So we want to fill this space. Let me show you why I said it's empty. You see, there is nothing under this zoology and biology. There is nothing under it. So how are we going to do this? Then we highlight from this B to this D. Then we match and center it. And we create another match and center. For this one also, we'll do the same. We highlight it up till G. We create match and center. Then I'll increase the names of this. I'll increase this. And I'll also increase this. So look at what we just did. Look at what we just did now. Look at what we just did now. Okay, sorry, I just want to let me finish increasing the width. Let me just finish increasing the width. Let me increase the width. Okay, so now look at what we just yeah, I'm so sorry, my network check. So that way we are out. I'm sorry. Please can you hear me? I'm sharing my screen back. If you can hear me, let me know. Okay, so now look at what we just created. Now look at the table we just created. Look at it. So this is what we just did. So now if you look at, let me bold this, let me decrease this size. Let me make this to be, okay, let me unbold this. So look at what we just created. So you see, now if I come down here, maybe I want to put the serial number, I'll start from this. So this is where serial numbers start. You see? We just stop at here. This is where serial number started. You see? And this is where we are going to write maybe the names. It can be the names of people. It can be number, maybe 23 and that. And all this is shows this three falls under Faculty of Science and this under this. Please understand how to do this. It's something that, like I told you, it has to do with your assignment. Understand how to do this. Like I said, I'm recording the class. You can kind of rewatch and see how you can do this. Okay. So now we're done with all this Marian Center. We are done with this customization. I show you how to do all this. And this is, you know, how to build, how to centralize, how to do a lot of all this and the rest. So how to change font style. And it's something that I don't need to even show you how to change font style. You don't even need to change a font style. You don't need to do that. So if you like, you change font style. If you don't like, do whatever you want. But if you want to change font style, just highlight it or highlight the entire table if you like. Just click here under here. When you click, you select the one you want. You can put times. You can write times or Times New Roman or Arial, and black and whatever. You use any one you want and just create, customize your table the way you want it to be. So this is it. The next thing we're going to talk about, we're done with all this customization and the rest. Don't worry, we are done with that. So I think I show you how to save, how to create these sheets. I show you how to do that. If you want to delete, just right click on it and delete. So you see I deleted that sheet. If you want to create another one, just click on this plus sign and you will be able to create another one. If you want to save your file, Control S, you all know how to save. So I don't need to teach you how to save, how to this and that. You all know how to do that. So the next thing, let's talk about formula and function. So formula and function is a topic that you need to understand. When you hear formula in Excel, or I don't know, is it in Excel, in all programming language, when you hear formula is the mathematical expression. The mathematical expression is just like, let's say, 2 plus 2. That's a formula. 3 plus 3, 3 minus 2, 3 times 3, 2 times 4, or 4 divided by 2. All these are formula. They are formula on how to do the mathematical expression of something. So that's formula. Okay, so what is function? This is what confuses a lot of people. You see, function in Excel, it means a predefined formula. That what function is all about. Predefined formula. A formula that is already created for you to use. You don't need to put the mathematical expression of the formula. All you need is to call the function of the formula and it will execute the formula for you. I'll give you a clear example of average formula. You see, average formula average formula is is total sum divided by total count. That's the average formula. But in Excel, we have average function. All you need to is to call the average function and it will do the magic for you. So you don't need to put whether you understand what it is or you don't understand what it is. Excel will do it for you. A lot of people doesn't know what average formula is all about. But this is the average formula, but this is the average function. So you understand the two. So we have function and we have formula. So most of what you're going to work with in Excel is function. Most of what you are going to use in Excel is going to be function because everything is predefined for you. They already created it. So you don't need to know the formula behind the function. You don't need to, but they create it for you. All you need is to call the function. When you call the function, and the function will be executed for you. So that's what formula and function is all about. So the formula we are going to treat normally, these are the normal formulas that we have. The formula that we are going to treat is simple arithmetic formula. That's what we are going to treat. The simple arithmetic formula. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and what do we call it? And is it what? I don't know. I think that's all. So these are the what we are going to just discuss about now. So what I'm going to do here is uh I think again I'm deleting this. I don't need this. Don't worry, I'll just be deleting and like that. So let's just delete this and just create something. I just want to show you I'm not creating any data. I just want to show you something. Or let me just create something. Let me just create something. Okay. I just want to create something. So let me do this. Okay, I just want to do this. So let's do something. I'll just call this addition, sub, mul, and I'll say division here. Yeah, so I think that's all. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Is there anything I don't know if I miss any? You let me know. Okay. So here it is. So now, uh, as you can see now, let's for the addition, we are going to apply the addition formula. So for you to start a formula or function in Excel, you start with equal sign. Whenever you want to write a formula, you write it using, you start by writing equal sign. Just put equal sign from your keyboard, please. When you put the equal sign, then you call the name of the cell where you want to add. For example, I want to add, look at it now. I want to add this cell. Let's say I want to add this cell and this cell. That is, I want to add B3 and C3. I need to know the name of the cell designation. If you look at it, is B under row 3, C under row 3. I want to add them together. So I'm just going to write the name of these cells. So I'm going to say B3, then I will put the plus sign. Then I will say plus C3. And that's all. Then I will press enter. So when you did this in Excel, you see it just give us 158, and that's the total. Don't worry, you don't need to even ask it whether it is total or is not the total. If I change this figure, let me change it. Automatically, it will change for us. Look at it. It changed for us because we already put the formula and we put the reference on the cells. So any number that we change here, automatic, our sum, our addition will change automatically. So the next thing we are going to do is I teach you how to drag. So take note, dragging is, like I told you, is to apply, is to duplicate what you have from the column you are dragging. So if I drag it up till the end, it will duplicate what I did. Look at it. You see, it just come down to B4 to C4. If I click here, it will come down to C5, B5 to C5, B6 to C6. You see, D6 to D6. Yeah, B7 to C7 and also B6 to C6. This is how it's going to apply across all the rows that I have. So if I have like 10,000 rows, please go ahead. Then you drag it to 10,000. But let me show you a very shortcut way to do it. When you come to this dragging, when you have your numbers here, make sure you arrange your data. When you have your number here, please come here at the end of this. Don't drag. Don't hold your left click. Just double click on right click. Double click or right click, it will automatically do the dragging for you. You don't need to drag it up till the end. Please, we don't need to do that. So for the subtraction is okay, is the way you did it. Maybe I want to subtract this total that I have here. I want to subtract it from the C2. So let me just say, for example, uh, D3 minus C3. So I'll press enter and it subtract it for me. If I highlight it, it's definitely going to give us what we have here is going to be what we are going to have here. So multiplication is to use the asterisk. So maybe I want to multiply this A column with this B column. So I'm going to say A3 asterisk. Asterisk is star. You call it star like that. So you hold your shift and you press 8. That is the alphanumerical A. You know we have alphanumerical on keyboard. We have numeric, alphanumeric, and whatever keys. We have a lot of keys on keyboard. So please understand that. I know what I mean. So when I click here, then I will click this. You can come and click it, or you can just put B3 and you press enter. It will do the multiplication for you. So when I click here, then I'll double click, it will do the multiplication. For the division is forward slash. So I'll click here, maybe I want to divide the total. This is this, and I want to divide it into 2. So I will say D3 divided, and I'll put forward slash. Forward slash is where your question mark is on keyboard. So just click on where the question mark is. Don't put shift. You don't need to click on shift. So when you put this, we divide it by 2. We press enter and it will be divided by 2. I will click here and it's done. So this is how you applied what? This is how you apply the simple arithmetic in Excel, and it's very simple to use. The next thing we are going to do is for us to use the sum function, because we did addition. It's only out of the simple arithmetics that we have, is only addition that has function. So all the rest doesn't have function. Addition has function. It's only addition. So I'm going to have the sum here. I'll call the sum function of addition. You're going to say equals to, then you write sum. That's the name of the function. So now we are not putting the name of the cell, we are putting the name of function. And from now, we'll start using function. Any function you are going to write, when you put the name of the function, then you create, then you put open bracket. So you put the name of the function, you put open bracket, then you put the cells that you want to apply the function on. You can write the cells, you can highlight the cells, and you can do whatever you want to do in this. But let me show you how to do this sum. Let's say I want to sum from this add up till this division. I want to sum them together. So what I'm going to do is you can come here and highlight. This is the first method. Come here and highlight. If you like, close bracket, and it is the best practice. Close your bracket after you highlight them all. Then you press enter, and it will give you the total. That's number one method of doing it. Or you can look at your cells. Okay, we have D3 to G3. So I'm going to say D3, then up till G3, then I will put colon G3. That's another way of what? Of highlighting the range. So this is to highlight your range. So understand this. There are a lot of functions we are going to use that has to do with highlighting range. So please understand this. So press enter and it will highlight the range for you. So if you like I told you, once you applied one formula somewhere, if you like, is just if you want to apply it across all the rest of the cells, all you need is to what? All you need is to apply it across. So look at it here. If you come here, it did it for you here. Look at it here. If you come here, it did it for you. And that's how it works across. So this is how to apply this sum function. So whenever you have a lot of numbers that you want to apply sum for them, you don't need to go ahead and just start, okay, D3, for example, D3 plus E3 plus, if you have 10,000 rows, how are you going to start counting them and to put them together? So it's something very difficult to do. So please understand this, and that's it. Let's say, for example, we want to get the total of all what we have here. So we can come here, for example, I can come here and call it total if I want. Then I can say equals to sum open bracket. Then I will highlight from B3 up till B7. So I can highlight it here, or I can write it by myself. Then I will close and I press enter. So if you like, you just come here, you can drag horizontally and you can also drag vertically. So if I like, I can drag like this vertically and it will apply all the formula across this. So as you can see, we have the total here. Let me put yellow color for it. And we also have the total here, and I can put color, yellow color also for it. So this is it. And this is how you apply all this simple arithmetic. So let's move to average. I already told you what average is all about. Average is for you to know if you want to get the average, is for you to know the house, because in every range of number there is a mean of the number. There is a, like I can call it, a center of the number. So if we say average, we want to know if something is either in the lower part of the data or the upper part of the data. So that's what the average is all about. For example, you are 20. I want to know who is part of the uh, top people or who is part of the bottom people. So the average is what will show you that. So when you get the average, so you look at the average, who got the average mark? If you got the average mark, you are average or above average. If you go below the average, then you are below the average. That's why you hear a lot of people saying someone is below average or someone is above average. So average, like I told you, the formula of average is total sum divided by total count. So for example, now this is what we have for the sum. This is the average. So this is the total. That's what we have here. So for the average in Excel, you don't need to write the average formula. All you need to is to put equals to average. That's the name of the function. Then you put open bracket. Then you highlight. You highlight the, I want to just highlight this range and close bracket, and it will give me the average. That is what? 701.9. That's the average. But let me show you, if we apply the normal average formula, is it going to give us what we want? Let's see that. I told you the average formula is total sum divided by total count. So I can say equals to, what is the total sum? Total sum is this 3,509. So I will say this total sum divided by total count. Count of these numbers is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 5. Let me put 5 and press enter. You see, it gives us the same result, 7019 and 701.9. So you see, we use average to get this, and we also use what? We use formula. We use function to get this, and we use formula to get this. So this is how you apply this, and this is how you work with it. The next thing we are going to talk about, which is the last topic we are going to discuss here, is, yeah, I'm sorry. I told you already why we're applying this. I don't know why some people are just, kind of asking about this bit and whatever. I told you we're not going to have a full class for us. We are covering the entire week together here. And I'm recording the class for you. So please go ahead, put the recording in slow motion and watch it on your own. Please don't worry about it, because I want to beat time. I have other schedules other things to attend to. I'm sorry. So now, the next thing we are going to discuss about is percentage. We're going to talk about percentage. So what is percentage formula? So the percentage formula is specific value divided by the whole value, total value multiplied by 100. That's the percentage formula. So now, for example, let me change this that we have here. Let me change this to this entire let me call it total. So for this, let me call this A, B. Okay, I'm sorry if I touch this, it's going to show something. So what I'm going to do is, okay, sorry, let me add something here. Okay, so let me call it department, or let me call it, yeah, let me just say names. So I'll say A, B, C, D, E. For example, let me call it that. So I want to get the percentage of A, B, and C. That's what I want to get. So now look at this. I told you the formula is specific value divided by total. Now we already got our total. You cannot get percentage formula unless you get the total. So when you know your total, you apply that specific value over that total, then you multiply it by 100. And multiplying by 100, you don't need to put it in your formula. You just need to click on this percentage sign. So now what we are going to do is to get the percentage of each and every names that we have here. So what we are going to do is just come here. Let me call this percentage. Let me call it percentage. So let's just apply the formula. I told you just first of all, you need to put the formula. I'm going to say equals to specific. I already told you that. Click on specific, then you put your forward slash. So I told you specific divided by total. So this is the total. So we have the specific and we have the total. So now what next? Just press enter. So once you press enter, look at what just happened. It gave us 0.1983, blah, blah, like that. So if you click on this percentage sign, automatically it will give you 20%. So that means this A person got 20% of the total number of the total value that we have. But what are we going to do? The next is for us to drag. You all know we are going to drag. So when we drag, you see, it's going to give us this arrow. Definitely we are going to get this arrow. Why? Because what happened is that, let me click on this. You're going to see it. Excel is, like I told you, is dragging down. Like what we did in our formula now. Look at it here. Oh, where is our sum formula? No, not this one. Okay, look at it now. E4, C4. When I come down, it come down to E5, C5. When I come down, it come down to E6, C6. So that's how Excel is going on whenever you drag it. So that's what it did to us here. And that's not what we want now. Because you look at it now. It comes to I4, and instead of it to stop at I8, you look at it now, I3, I8. It's supposed to come, yes, to I4. But we don't want it to go to what? To I9. So it goes to I9, and I9 is empty. Definitely we are going to get error because you cannot divide something by nothing and it will give you answer. It will not give you anything. So what we are going to do is for us to learn how to lock a particular cell. There is a way to lock a cell. When you lock your cell, then definitely when you drag the cell, it will not go anywhere. It will stop where it is. So let me show you that. So what we are going to do, I'm going to show you this. So let me just remove this that I just did. So let me delete this. So what we are going to do, I'm going to say equals to this specific divided by this total. I'll click on total. So the next thing we are going to do is, I'm sorry. So the next thing we are going to do is to lock this. So what you need to is to highlight it. First of all, sorry, is I add. What we need is to highlight it. You can highlight it with your mouse, or you can come inside this formula bar and highlight it like this. You highlight it, then you press F4 from your keyboard. F4, that is function key 4 there. They are the top keys on the keyboard. Just press F4. Once you press F4, you're going to see dollar sign before I and dollar sign before it. That word will appear. So it means we lock column I and we lock row 8, all of them will lock them. So when we drag, they will not change. So if you press F1, it didn't work, please. What you are going to do is press Fn, hold your Fn, then you press F4. There is Fn in every laptop. Every keyboard has that FN. Just click on that FN function key and then you click on your F4 and it will work. It will definitely lock the cell for you. So now I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to press F4 so that I will highlight it. So I highlight it and I'll press enter. So this is what is going to show for me. So if I like, I can click on this. If I just want to finish it before I click on percentage, I'll drag it and it's going to give me all the 000, but the last one, it give me one. Why? Because 3509.5 divided by by 3 it's going to give you one. So now if I click on this, definitely we are going to get percentage across everything, and the last one is going to be 100%. And look at it here, and this is it. So what I want to not to get confused in, please understand this. Whenever you want to apply percentage formula, please make sure you get the total of the numbers you are going to get their percentage. Get the total. Then you recall the formula I told you, percentage formula, which is specific value. That specific value divided by the total that you got. That's all. When you click on it, then you come over here on percentage and you click on percentage sign and you are done with percentage. Please understand this so that you will not get confused. And don't forget to lock the cell where your total is while applying percentage formula. Please don't forget also this. Please. No, it's not 1-8, it's I-8. I just put it in capital letter. It's I-8, I-8, please. H-I, because it's I, column I. So this I-8 where our figure is. So the next thing we are going to talk about, the last topic, or I can say the last thing, which is not the topic, is also under percentage. We're going to talk about percentage change. There's what we call percentage change. For you to get either percentage decrease or percentage increase. So it's one formula to do that. There is a formula to that. Percentage change. Please understand this. You can call it percentage variation, percentage deviation, percentage change, percentage whatever. There are lots of names to that. So the formula for percentage change is simple. It's just new value minus old value divided by old value. Then you put the percentage sign, multiply by 100. That's the formula. New value minus, understand this, please. New value minus old value. New value minus old value. Then divided by old value. Multiply by 100. That's the percentage sign. So to write it, we are going to say new value. Let's say, for example, we have a year, for example, let's say, um, this is, I'm just trying to show you that. Please understand this. Let's say this is 2010 and this is 2011. So we want to know what is the percentage change between 2010 and 2011. That's what we want to know. So to do that, you are going to say, understand the formula. What is the new value? The new value is 2011 value. So I'll click on the 2011 minus old value. Which one is our old value? This is our old value. So understand this. Once we are done with this, we're not going to put divided. We're not going to do that. We are putting these two into bracket. Please put them in bracket. Put them in bracket. Then you say divided by old value. Which one is old value? Is 2010. Then I'll click back the old value, which is G3. Then I'll press enter, and this is what it will give us. So it gives you the percentage change is minus this. Let me show you what will happen when I put the percentage sign. You see, we have minus 67. Why? Because in 313, so this is percentage decrease. That's what we call percentage decrease. Because if it is negative, is percentage decrease. If it is positive, is what? Is percentage increase. So let me highlight it for you and see. Look at what just happened. In 2010, let's say we have 312. While in 2011, we have 102. So we are what? We are 67% decrease compared to 2010. And also here, also that what is showing us, we have 73%. This one will also, but let me increase it. Let me show you something. Let me put 400 here. Look at what we just got. We got 28% increase because now it's positive. Since it is positive, then it means we have 28% increase. Maybe it's a price of product. So if we have 28% increase in this, please understand this. Okay, so there is another thing that I will talk about now that has to do with you getting a number using a percentage. I will tell you this. Getting a number using a percentage to get a figure out of a percentage. Sometimes you can be given a target. Let me give you a target of 100,000 or let's say 50,000. I want you to get, let me call it 20% of this target. I want you to get that 20% out of this target and I want you to work with it. To get it, you are going to say equals to, please understand all this. You are going to say equals to this 50,000 times 20%. Then you press enter. So 10,000 that you got is the 20% of 50,000. Please understand this. If I ask you to get 50% of that 50,000, let me put 50%. You see, 25,000 is the 50% of 50,000. So please understand how to do all this using percentage. So percentage is very wide, but I think this is what, yeah, I think this is how you're going to use it. And I think you learned something in this. So let's stop here and I will answer some of your questions. We don't have much, but if you have question, drop your question in the chat. I'll read it out and I will respond to you. If you don't have any, we'll call it a day and we meet next week. We are dropping the assignment with you today, tonight, or maybe early tomorrow. So you're going to see your file and you're going to start working with the file. So if you have a question, you ask your question. We covered the entire week. So see you next Wednesday. If you don't have any question, I think see you next week. If you have, then I'll do it. Yeah, someone said how to lock a cell. I told you is to click on F4. So let me say this to you. When you put it here, let's come back to the percentage. And take note, for this percentage change, you don't need to lock a cell. For this percentage change that we just did, don't lock the cell because we need to apply all this across all the figures that we have. That is the new and the old that we have. So don't lock the cell on these percentages. So let's come to this percentage. So what I told you is to click on the cell. When you highlight it, then you click on F4. If F4 didn't work, please, then you hold your function key and you click F4. If it didn't work, don't worry. You know the name of the column is J8, for example, now is J8. So this is J8 that I have. So I'll come before J, then I'll put my dollar sign. I'll hold Shift 4, then I'll come to this 8 also before 8. I'll hold it and put my dollar sign. Very simple. So if all the function keys didn't work for you, please go ahead and kind of you know do that for you on your own to put it over yourself. So it's just something not difficult. Yeah, if you join our class through the back door, how do you expect us to give you letter? You know our people, we know who will send the letter. There are people that intentionally we refuse to give them the letter. Maybe I don't know if you are part of it, a part of them. I don't know. I'm not saying, but there are those that intentionally we refuse to give them the letter due to what they did, or maybe due to the way they send the letter and the rest. We just said I will not give it to them. So you join us through your friend. You are here with us. It's okay. Just enjoy the class, but you don't need our you don't need our letter, and we're not going to give you our letter seriously because you joined through a parental. Keep joining us so that you will learn because we want you to learn. But seriously, you are not part of us. Seriously, we're not giving you assignment. We're not marking your assignment. We're not giving you number. We're not giving you anything. So